I'm located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, cousin, whatever you happen to be in your life, I can be just that. I love to dance. I dance prophetically. I go and minister at different locations wherever needed because I love serving God and doing the works of the Lord. I met Apostle Sherry through dance by ministering at one of her ordination services she had for one of her members. And during those times, I never thought that we would connect on the level that we have connected. But she was offering so much to the community from Bible studies to posting things on social media that will encourage you, that will provide you wisdom, that allowed you to dissect the word, that made you want to go back and read the word and study it for yourself and gain the knowledge for yourself. So throughout that, she began the soap sessions and cleansings, and it has been amazing. Each session we have had has done something different for me. We started out describing what our soap does for us and how God cleanses our heart and cleanses us from within. And never have I ever dug so deep to determine what God does specifically for me and not how I can go and serve or what I can do to please Him or please the people, but exactly the intimate relationship that I have with God. I got a chance to dissect that and tear apart exactly what He's doing for me, tear away pieces so that I can be cleansed, dive into God, learn more about Him, gain wisdom, knowledge, be able to get information and provide it and activate it into my own life. In doing this, I believe that God has changed my life on so many levels, not just for who I am, but how I can impact other people that I come in contact with, and also be a better benefit to my family, that I can be encouraging and uplifting and provide more powerful things into their life and bring the anointing and be able to pray over my family and myself on a different level because she's a prayer, she's a warrior. She does so much with providing the resources and breaking down the words of not only can we understand, but babies can even understand it. So when they say take the meat and throw away the bones, that's exactly what she does for us. And she breaks it down so much that it's almost like she's cutting our food for us so that we can understand and eat from the table to grow and be mighty women of God throughout these soap sessions and cleansing sessions. So I am grateful that I have met Apostle Sherry. I'm grateful to have been a part of the soap sessions, and I can't wait for what this is going to grow into and see how it not only continues to impact my life, but begin to impact those around me and those that may come and join our sessions in the future. And so I'm just going to say one more time that I am so grateful and amazed at how God has anointed her to bring on something so amazing that I have never seen or thought of doing, but I love being a part of. And I cannot wait for our next fellowship because I'm ready to eat some more so that I continue to grow in God. I'm Davita Janine, and just a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I am a woman of God. I love Jesus. I got saved when I was 9 years old. It's been a journey, but I've always loved the Lord. Second of all, I'm a wife for 14 years, and then I'm a mother of two handsome boys, 13 and 11. I work as a quality assurance specialist for a call center. I've been doing that for about 10 years. I absolutely love my job. I get to coach others, help develop them, help encourage them, which is something I just absolutely love to do. But what I'm really enjoying about this phase of my life right now is I'm actually in the middle of seeing my dream come true. For the longest, I've always wanted to work in radio. I love to talk, I love good conversation. And just about a year ago, the Lord gave me this ministry, and it's called The Journey Tip. And it's based off the verse in Psalms 119, 105, where it says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light to my path." And from that came the journey tip because we have to allow the Lord
if we want to live a successful life, a true successful life from the heart, we have to allow the Lord to light our path through all decisions so that we can continue to live in his will. And it's just one day I was reading that verse and it stuck out to me like never before. And from that, he gave me the journey tip. And under the journey tip, I just do a 2 to 3 minute segment on the radio now. It's 105.1 Spirit Radio, where I just share how the Lord leads me to share on how we can allow him to light our path down our journey, our life journey, so that we can follow the path that God designed just for us. We all have a path to follow as believers, but he also has a path for us specifically. And that's kind of where the journey tip was came from. Now, I want to tell you all how I met Sherry Cribb. I met Sherry on the mountain. It was a mountains retreat. My sister Elizabeth invited me. I didn't know what to expect, but when I went up there, I wasn't in the best spirits, but I saw this lady that had all this energy about her, and I wanted to know who she was. And it was Sherry. She seemed like a very intelligent person. It was just an anointing on her that I felt coming from Sherry. And me and Sherry got to connect on the mountain, which was a wonderful experience. And from then on, I've been connected with her. And I really enjoyed God allowing her to come in my life because I've learned a lot from her. And she is a true woman of God. And from the soap sessions, the soap sections again is something I didn't know what to expect. I never heard of the soap cleansing section before. I didn't know what we're gonna do, what we're gonna talk about. Soap I didn't know. And I know that may sound silly, but I really didn't know. But when we went to the soap section, I got to meet some other ladies, women of God, and we were able to share and release some things that sometimes we may not get to share with other people that may not be walking as believers in God or may not just understand what you're going through. But I was able to connect with these ladies and just share in an open type space and feel comfortable sharing with them with some of the struggles I was experiencing as well as some of the blessings that I was experiencing, the doors that God was opening for me. I think the one that stood out to me the most was the last soul cleansing section where we were just fellowshipping with each other. And as I was speaking, Sherry always likes to give us little gifts. And her gifts are not just like regular gifts. She has an anointing on her. So she'll give us gifts that kind of speak in our life, like cards. You get a card and she'll write something personally and it speaks right into what you're going through. And that's what happened on the last session. She wrote something in that card that really just spoke to exactly what I was going through in my life at the time and still is going through. And she gave me, actually, it's this little plaque that I have on my wall, which really explains me a lot. And I had a breakthrough, I didn't expect it. It was a breakthrough that I had where, as I was sharing, I realized how God was opening doors right before my eyes that I have been waiting on for the longest, and how God has changed my heart, how He's answering my prayers. I always pray to ask God to renew the right spirit in me, even in hard situations, for Him to help me to see things the way He sees them, towards maybe people that I may not, that I have to deal with. It may be difficult to deal with. I ask Him to help me see them the way He sees them, and He's doing that for me. And then the radio. I had just started working with the radio station, and as I was talking and sharing with the ladies, I realized that He was making a dream come true for just me. And so with the soap cleansing session, it was a true cleansing of my mind and my heart. And I just really enjoyed the fellowship, the time that I get to fellowship with these ladies that I've never met before. If I had not connected with Cher, I would have, possibly not never been able to meet these young ladies. So I just really enjoyed the soap cleansing session that Sherry has, allowed the Lord to lead her to do. And that's about it about me. There will be more to come, I can assure you. But I just wanted to share that about me and share with y'all what the soap cleansing sessions are doing for us and what God is how God is working through them. Thank you.
So I came from a background of Islam. For I kind of grew up. I kind of actually grew up in Islam. I started out my first 5 years as a Christian, or 6 years, and then the rest of my life I became. Growing up, I became a Muslim. I followed my mom in Islam, and I was there for about 20 years, maybe 30. And then I found my way back to my roots and where I started. So, as a young girl, um, trying to find why Jesus loved me and why my life was on the journey that it was, I met this man that kept singing the bus side of the mountain to me. And I didn't understand it because I thought it was an old country song. And then as he was breaking down, as I was breaking down the lyrics of it, I said, am I on that bus side of the mountain? So at that time in my life, I wasn't in Islam, I wasn't going to church. I was just trying to find my way in life as a young girl. So when he kept singing that song, and I said, what is it about this song that you like so much? And so he was telling me how his mother and family was um, singing in the church. They had a little group going on in his family. And they would be the quartets of the church, I guess. And so, and that was one of the songs that he loved. But that song changed my whole life because I was like, oh, listening to it and understand the lyrics of it, I said, maybe I need to think big group. And finally, I got to having these dreams and going to church. But anyway, as I introduce myself, this is one of my passions, my alabaster box. God put it in my spirit, my alabaster box. God put it in my spirit, and I have gifts in there that could take you on your life journey. And so I'm so blessed over the song that kind of moved me and took me through my journey. CC, to God be the glory. You put a nail on the head in that song. So I'm now soul session with the women and how I met Apostle Cheryl. I met her over the phone, listening to her Bible study. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know who I was. I was listening and listening, and finally, after listening for a month or so, I engaged in the conversation of the Bible study. Because I said, her voice and her passion to break down the words really moved me and touched my heart. So every Monday I was getting trying to make sure I stopped doing what I'm doing and tune in and get in and get in. And so she was she was just so excited about trying to help you to understand what God was saying. But she didn't know that as she was breaking it down, I was hearing what God was saying. She was so clear in what she was saying and wanted us to understand it so bad that you couldn't do nothing but listen. And I got to a room that I could hear a pin drop and nobody voice but her and God. And it was a beautiful Bible study. Then I moved on and started listening to her on, well, really going on Facebook and getting into her inspirational message that she would put up there every day. And so when I finally met her, was at my girlfriend ordination. After that Bible study, she was getting her ready for ordination, and I didn't quite know all of that until finally almost at the end. But anyway, make a long story short, there was a beautiful, beautiful ordination she did and set up, and I met her, and she was so full of the Spirit and kindness and all the things that I could imagine from her teaching, that God was in her. God was with her. You could see it, you could feel it. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful organization. It was beautiful that she had set up and put together for the young lady, my friend. And so after meeting her with that, we went on and started listening. I started tuning in on Facebook and all the passages and messages that she was doing and watching her through the community and doing so much stuff. And I said, wow. So when she invited me to Soul Session, I said, wow, this is an invitation, Lord, to something that I need. So I said, Lord, if you make a way, I'll come. So I finally, one session went by, I missed that one. The next one, the devil didn't want me to go. And then the next one, because of what happened before with the devil, he wasn't going to trick me again. He tried, but he wasn't going to trick me again. I said, I'm going in spite of. So I went, and it was beautiful. The young ladies that were there, oh, I was so impressed over their power and spirit that they had in Jesus Christ to be so young. And I remember they brought me things back to my remembrance how I met this young girl that actually knocked on my door and said, you know, I've seen your mailbox say something about Jesus. So I thought that this was a safe haven and I needed somewhere to stay for the night. And I said, wow. I said, why you don't have nowhere to stay? She says, God told me to give up my apartment, give up everything, pack a backpack, and be on my journey. What? So then I didn't quite understand it. She was so young and pretty and out here going from house to house, day to day, with nowhere to lay her head until God opened the door for her. That was trust. And those young girls reminded me of that. Because that lady had a trust, that young girl had a trust that I don't know I could have had at that time, but she was teaching me something. And I opened the door and made a way because I remember about Elijah. So I opened the door, fed her, and gave her a place to sleep. And that's what I remember from my soul section. Healing, healing.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Curry. I currently live in Rockville, South Carolina. Um, let's see. Right, I told them I was going to be me, so I'm just going to go ahead and be me. So you might get a couple of laughs. So I was brought into soap sessions by those of good friends who I have known for 5, 6 years. Mm-hmm. And we met in church. We attended Elevation Church, and we met in a mutual group. I guess you can call it like a Bible group. And let's just say we just hit it off, and we have friendship has grown from there. And we were driving together one day, and she told me about soap sessions, and I was like, "Well, what's that?" And she told me about how they made soaps and how You know how it just symbolizes spiritually cleansing yourself. But I was like, so you got a tribe, the tribe of women. Okay, I want in. So next session, I was there. Next session, I was there. And I think God was doing that on purpose. I'm gonna take it, let it be included. um, so let's see. So I told her that I wanted in, and she signed me up. And funny thing, really quick. So we have a messenger group that I signed, well, that I agreed to, and let's just say for the entire time, except for the week prior to the next soap session, I had no clue that they were conversing back and forth. So I had no clue what was being said. I just knew that Sherry Crib was over, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll see everybody there," and that's what happened. We showed up first, and as Liz said earlier, it was at Hand and Soap Spa, Hand and Soap, Hand and Stone Spa, and it was their first time. Wasn't mine. No, no, got a membership. Got to take care of yourself, ladies. So, while they had their first experience, I was just upset I couldn't get a 90-minute massage. I had to get a 60 because I made couldn't make last minute changes. And as the experience is always, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I was able to let go because not just as a black woman, but as a woman, period, we have a problem of letting go because we have the world on our shoulders. Whether it's helping others, helping family members, it's just very hard for us to figure out how to give ourselves some space, some time, just to be able to breathe and say, hey, I'm here, I exist. So I enjoyed that time, and we went to dinner. And well, before that, let's just say I met Sherry there, of course, at the spa, and we started talking about hair. You know how us women are about our hair. And let's just say we had a good hour-long conversation about hair and then makeup. So what I would tell you is that Sherry is definitely she's a special soul. She makes you feel welcome. Um, there's not any, of course, awkwardness that you would expect when you're meeting someone new. But her openness and how God shines through her is definitely something to behold. Um, Being a part of soap sessions with another group of women where you don't feel the need to compare yourself, you're able to see that regardless of where you are in life, you all have something in common. And it's great to be able to be a part of a sisterhood where you all go through things differently, but you're able to experience them with and through each other, and you're able to grow. If nothing else, then to be able to strengthen your relationship with God, because I like to say I'm a movie. Liz will get upset with me for saying that because I've been in this journey for the last 36 years. Um, but my relationship with God is definitely it's growing. It's never going to stop growing. He definitely likes to sit me down and put me in my place. And I don't like it, but it's what you need. He's there when you need him. And just don't be afraid to take that step to accept him, because when you expect it the least is when you end up having that moment of cleansing that lets you know that God is there regardless of the situation that you're going through. And All it takes is a second to go ahead and reach out to him. So never give up on that relationship. Never give up on, you know, being a part of a tribe with God as your backer. That's what I'll say. So that's my spiel. Have a good one.
My name is Sean Prophet. I am married to Joe Prophet, who is also a man of the cloth and a teacher. I am a mother of two, grandmother of seven with two bonus grandkids. I am a nurse by trade and a minister and prophetess by call. I first met Apostle Sherry at an ordination service in which my daughter had did prophetic liturgical dancing. Um, I never knew or never thought at that time that Apostle would have such a great impact on my life. After the ordination service, she began a virtual group, in which we did Bible studies. And then she developed a Facebook group in which we did, she sent us words of encouragement, asked questions, and so forth. And during this time, we were able to have fun through virtual fun with studying and becoming more, digging more deeper into the Bible and God. Then she developed these, what we call the soap session um, and cleansing time. At the first soap session, I never knew and never thought that a bar of soap can make you dig so deep into your own life. With this bar of soap and the instructions we were given, we had to compare the cleansing of with the soap to how God cleanses us. And it was so powerful. I was in awe and still in awe about it because it gave me a chance to be transparent about my life and about things that I had been dealing with. And every soap session since then has gone deeper and deeper. Apostle Sherry asks you questions. She gives you words of encouragement that makes you just think about your life with God, your walk with God, and it just makes you just continuously make improvements on your life, in your life, and also your relationship that you have with God. It makes you get more intimate with God. Um, I am looking forward to each session. I continue to look forward to each session because it makes me grow more and more. I am just waiting to see what the end is going to be because it has been such a glorious time.
Hey everybody, I am Elizabeth Burns and I am the founder of Seek for Women. Seek is an acronym and it stands for Spiritual Encouragement, Engagement, and Knowledge. It's based off of Matthew 6:33 where it says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be given unto you." Seek is a ministry that is helping women build their faith in Christ through different events such as Bible studies, workshops, and other engagements around the community. Another thing about me is I love to go on different various adventures, such as hiking, skating, going to the lake. I love nature, or anything that's flying around the city. And so when it comes to the sub session, I just want to tell you a few of my experiences. The first soap session was actually bringing the soap, and I was like, "What are we doing this for?" But the soap session really helped understand more of what God is doing within us. So we were able to bring the soap that we really like and share with one another as to how the soap cleanses our body and how that is a very intimate time with you and God. And so I know I brought one. It was a very different soap than all the others, and it was made with frankincense and myrrh. And I explained how frankincense and myrrh reminds me of when Jesus was born, and those were some of the essential oils that were brought during that time, and they're used for healing. And so that was my experience there. And it was really enlightening to see how others explain what their soaps meant to them and how God has been able to speak to them during that time when we are using those soaps. The second session was about our facial cleansers. And that one for me was a little tough because I was like, what facial cleanser? I go through a lot. And so I spoke on how I've used many different cleansers to work on my face because there's a lot of different impurities. And so I related that to how God will help us go through that cleansing session, that cleansing part of our face. Well, not just our face, but our life, and get those impurities out. And sometimes it's going to take several chances to get those things out and to cleanse us. And during that time, it also reminds me how I'm able to have to take time to do this so that way I fit it in my daily routine. And God wants us to take time with Him and not just put Him on the back burner or just trying to fit Him in, but actually schedule out time so I can spend that time getting those impurities out by spending time with Him. And that's how it was related to me with that facial cleanser. And then our most recent soap session was one of my favorites. So we went to the spa. And let me tell you, we were able to either opt for a facial massage or a full body massage. I did the full body massage. And the full body massage was light. So having that full body massage was something different in me that I needed. I knew I was very tense and stressed, but one thing that I remember as I was getting the full body massage was the point that I couldn't control nothing. I had to let the person do what they had to do in order to relieve some of that stress from my muscles. And so I had to just say, rest, Liz, rest, relax, don't do anything. And that's something that God has been speaking to me about is take your hands off of it, let me drive, and listen to me. Trust me, I got you, my daughter. And along with that soap session, I remember getting out of the massage and I was just feeling like a whole new person. But I needed that renewal. I needed that cleansing, that relaxation. And it was just a beautiful time. And then afterwards, we were able to go to a beautiful restaurant and mingle with one another. We had such a God experience there. And to fellowship one another with ladies alike, we all have different paths, we have different upbringings, but to know that we were able to talk about God and eat and bless others around us was just a beautiful, beautiful session. It just allowed me to see how God can really connect you to those really, to those who are really of the faith and that, we're out for each other to protect one another. There was really no ill will. It was just, hey, I'm here for you, sister. And, as long as I was getting a massage, they were also getting one too. So we were able to share our experiences with one another. And so that was just my experience when it comes to sub sessions, and I'm looking forward to more. And I'll go ahead and tell you like how I met Sherry Crib. Sherry, I want to say around last year, I was volunteering at a particular organization and I was helping another person out and I happened to see them with some clothes. And I remember going up to them and saying, hey, I got some clothes that I need to donate. Can I just add this to their pile? And they was like, sure. And that was it. After that, I believe we connected, we talked, and we were able to kind of get to know them more and network and talk about God and who God is to us. And ever since then, it's just been a beautiful journey of growing women of Christ who's just really just out there to share the gospel and be our authentic self and allow God to grow us in this ministry. So that's what's all about the soap session, and y'all have a great one.